Today I'd like to talk to you about the quick speech in noise test, also known as QuickSin, and why this is such a vitally important test to do. Coming next. My name's Matthew Pearson from Zone 1 Hearing in London, and over the last 14 years I've had the pleasure and privilege of helping people from all over the world hear better. So if you'd like to learn about ears, hearing aids, testing and all that kind of thing, then please like the video, please share with anyone you think it might help, please subscribe and press the bell for notifications. So coming next, we're going to talk about QuickSin. So what is QuickSin? So QuickSin, or quick speech in noise, is a test designed to establish an individual's signal to noise ratio hearing loss. So what does that mean? Well, the signal is what you want to hear, and obviously the noise is anything that's interfering with the sound that you want to hear. So most people, when they come to an audiology professional, they normally come because they are struggling to hear in background noise. So actually relying on an audiogram, so we're going to throw up a couple of examples. So if you've got a mild hearing loss and a moderate hearing loss, logic would suggest to you that the person with the moderate hearing loss would find it harder to hear in noise. But actually, that's not always the case. I've had instances where people have had mild hearing losses and they've had severe issues with hearing noise. I've had people with severe hearing losses who've actually, on paper, had a mild issue with hearing speech in noise when we've run this speech in noise test. So for me to rely purely on an audiogram, which if I remember rightly is something like a 70-year-old test, yes, it is a foundation for prescribing a hearing aid, but it's certainly not the whole test. And I would avoid going to someone who treated the audiogram as something that you can use to prescribe a hearing aid purely on that bit of information. Okay, so how do we do a signal to noise ratio, or how do we do a QuickSin test which will give us that signal to noise ratio information? Well, it's a lady, an American lady, delivering a sentence of speech at a time in what they call four-talker babble. So you have other speakers in the background who, each time we go beyond a sentence, that level of background interference increases to the point where even a normally hearing person isn't going to hear anymore. And then we give the individual a score, and then based on that they fit into one of four categories. So if I remember correctly, category 1 is that they should hear even better than a normally hearing person with directional mic hearing aids. The next category is the individual would hear almost as well as somebody with normal hearing with directional hearing aid microphones. The third category is that they would benefit from the directional microphones or even super directional microphones. And the final category, if you drop into that, indicates that you might need other assistive devices, so what we call FM systems. So maybe a microphone that you can place on a table or connect to another individual who's speaking with you, because you've gone beyond the scope of what a hearing aid can correct. So to actually prescribe a hearing aid without carrying out this test for someone who, having carried it out, would drop into that final category is likely to mean that a hearing aid on their own are not going to correct the problems that individual faces. So what it does, like I say, it will give us an estimate on the signal to noise ratio issue the individual has. It will also allow us to recommend the correct technology for them. It helps us with what we call counselling, so advising the patient on the likelihood of success and the journey that they're likely to be experiencing to get there. And then also allows us to compare, as a secondary function, how the person's hearing now, say aided or unaided, and then how much of an improvement they're likely to see. So that's one of the secondary functions. And there's also some other tests we can do with QuickSin, and you can test ears individually, you can test them together, you can test with headphones, with insert earphones, even with calibrated speakers. And with the calibrated speaker, it's quite a powerful thing if your patient can come with a significant other, because if they do, sometimes the degree of difficulty isn't truly appreciated. So for me, these are some very strong reasons why I think this is a fantastic test, and you shouldn't purely rely on an audiogram, which, as I say, it will give you some information, how much sound roughly you need to start with before you properly measure and set up a hearing aid, whether a hearing loss is referable to another medical professional for further evaluation. But what it won't do is accurately tell us of the difficulty that individual's having in noise. So I think several great reasons why you should seek out a professional who carries out this valuable test. So this is Matthew Pearson from Zone 1 Hearing in London. If you've enjoyed the content, please like, please share, please subscribe, and any comments you've got, please pop them below. So I look forward to speaking with you soon. Have a fantastic day.